back to Cricket for Americans. Nick here.
Gabe, the Night Watchman. Like Gary, baby, for all of you Aussie fans who've been following the Ashes. You know what? Oh, Gary, how does, Nick, let me know. How does a night watchman last more balls than a proper batsman? Oh my. It must be due to good bowling.
More than Bairstow? More than Butler? I mean, England, they tried their night watching with Jack Leach, 2 balls. That didn't work out too well.
That didn't work out.
Can he do anything well? Maybe he like makes a mean like sausage muffin or something like that.
Yeah. I heard he makes like a mean meatloaf or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Meatloaf. Okay.
Something. You know what I mean? I don't know. He's got a recipe. I don't know. But listen, he's better than Don Best. That's honestly what Chris Silverwood says. He's better than Don Best. You know what I mean? Like, what else? Where else do I turn to? All right. When Joe Root is your best spinner, England, that's a problem. But in honor of night watchmen being better than batsmen, it always happens because you got great bowlers on the other side, all right, Nick? And Patty Cummins was an absolute monster this Ashes, okay? Honestly, this kid I've never heard of, Scott,
Boland.
Scott Boland, exactly. I don't even know his name, all right? He's an MCG
product. Boland can bowl.
Bro,
he can bowl and look good, baby. He can ball and look good.
I can't believe that. Bowling. Did you tweet that out? I'm sure you said. I'm sure you tweeted that out.
It just came to my mind right now.
Bowling can bowl. Listen, bowling with the dirty dozen. That's a half. Listen, when they get a dirty dozen, that's six with a 6-wicket haul. He put in work, and that's really how you get guys that. Proper batsmen that get less than night watchmen. And here's another guy that in his career had plenty 6-wicket hauls, including an 8-wicket haul against Aussies. Just saying, I'm an Australia fan. Nick, will you please introduce the person whom we're going to be talking about today?
So, in honor of 83, a film we have not yet seen, but we will very quickly, very soon. We're checking out Kapil Dev's interview from Breakfast with Champions. And Kapil Dev obviously was the man, the myth, legend behind the 83 World Cup Championship. This guy, he's got 5,000 test runs, but more importantly, he's got 434 test wickets, for crying out loud. 434. So he's not just a one-trick pony by any means. He's got 250 ODI wickets. He's got his best performance was 9 for 83. He almost hit that comebly. He was almost a first or second one after Laker to get those 10 wickets. He got 9 for 83. I wonder if it was in 1983 when he got 83. But this guy is a monster, and we are excited to get to know him a little better through this interview on Breakfast with Champions here on another episode of Cricket Tuesday.
And I am so excited for the movie 83. I'm so excited for Kapil Dev. You know, I know he's known more as an all-rounder, right? Because he was also a proper batsman. But, dude, bowling is just so important, and taking wickets is just so important, okay? Because, listen, I've seen it happen live now where it was Sri Lanka, I want to say, versus South Africa. Sri Lanka put up a 400 burger on him, Nick. First innings, it's like 430. Okay, cool. You can't take wickets, though, because South Africa put up 600 on you. You got to get those wickets, all right? You got to get those wickets, man. And we just saw something amazing where, honestly, on one side, we saw guys that could not get wickets, and we saw Jimmy Anderson, like the last throw Mohicans. Jimmy Anderson, you know, his performance is going to go understated in this Ashes, Nick, because of how bad the rest of England has been, and it's the batting that can't carry them. But Jimmy Anderson at 39 got himself a 4-wicket haul, Nick. A 4-wicket haul. I mean, it is such a masterful thing to get those wickets, especially those test wickets, bro. And, bro, I love it. And listen, I don't care who you are. You cannot luck your way, Nick, into 400 wickets. Listen, ask Don Best. He can't luck his way into 40 wickets, let alone 400 wickets? What?
Why you gotta be so hateful? Why you gotta be so hateful?
can I hate on somebody else? You want me to hate on somebody else? I mean, I could give you a whole bunch of guys that I can hate on.
No. Let's not get too
my man
sidetracked.
Shannon Gabriel can't get the 400 wickets because he can't stay healthy.
You watch your mouth. So we're gonna be checking out. Gabe's got the glorious hat on. Just want to mention that we're gonna be checking out this Breakfast with Champions interview.
Why?
Hey, you know why? You just were throwing some hate out there. You deserve what you get. And don't forget to like and subscribe, especially if you're new. Hit that's the right button. If you're not new, hit that like button. I can never get that right. And we're gonna go ahead and check this out in 3, 2, 1.
Can I be honest? Not कि you are recording or something. I like to tell everybody. नीड और ग्रीड में बहुत कम फर्क है. कई बार आपको नीड लेके जाता है, कई बार ग्रीड लेके जाता है. मैं जिंदगी में हमेशा मैं सीखने की कोशिश करता हूँ. और मेरे को किसी सीनियर क्रिकेटर ने कहा था कि कपिल, इफ यू वांट टू बी सक्सेसफुल इन लाइफ, keep your eyes and ears open while sleeping also. Success तो आ जाएगी, सीखना कहाँ से? वो आपके दोस्त, आपकी लाइफ, आपकी सिचुएशन आपको दिन ब दिन बेहतर सिखा सकती है. अगर आपकी सोच है सीखने की, अगर आपकी सोच ये है कि मेरे को सब कुछ आता है, गुड लक.
Good luck नहीं, good night.
Jeez.
I never realized how just philosophical he was. I heard the same thing, and that's why I live my life the way I do. You sleep when you're dead. You know what I mean? You're gonna have plenty of time to sleep once you take that dirt nap, but you gotta outwork everybody else. You gotta grind, and it just sounds like he got similar advice.
I think one of the greatest tragedies in cricket is that on that June afternoon in Tunbridge Wells, there was no camera. Because I would have gone and seen that innings of yours, आपका जो 175, I would have gone back and seen that at least 175 times. What do you think about that? Just that angle.
I think no, I don't think that way. I just, you enjoy that moment, and
Yeah.
that's fine. I mean, God gave you and He said, "Ja, enjoy kar."
Yeah.
So that was my day. He said, "Ja, ऐश कर, सिमरन जा."
पर जब आप जा रहे थे बैटिंग करने के लिए तब तो नाराज थे.
अपने आप से सबसे ज़्यादा, I think more than that, you are just, I would say, nervous.
Yeah.
When you're captain, you have that much more responsibility.
पर मतलब मार्च पास्ट हो गया ना, आप तो रेडी भी नहीं थे.
मेरे को पता ही नहीं था क्या हुआ. So I think that's the best part.
Yeah.
मैं अपना बाथरूम में नहा रहा था, ऐश कर रहा था.
Yeah. और फिर somebody knocked the door and said के आ जाओ बैटिंग आ गई है.
I always said, मेरे को नहीं याद कि मैंने साबुन भी निकाला था नहीं निकाला था. I always say, I said, sometime accident you remember.
Yeah.
And day-to-day things you don't remember.
Yeah.
Right.
सनी भाई ने मुझे कहा था कि that 175 by Kapil changed the game. तो मैंने कहा उनसे कि हाँ change the game मतलब हाँ वो हारने वाले थे अब जीत गए. कहते no, didn't change that match. It changed the game of cricket. It's a good compliment, isn't it?
Oh yeah. Somebody of that caliber come out and say,
Yeah.
you always feel proud. In my mind, Sunil was the true professional India produced. Number one. वीनू मनकड़ शायद उनसे पहले थे, हमने कभी देखा नहीं. बट आई थिंक सुनील गावस्कर ट्रू प्रोफेशनल थे कि उनका सिर्फ क्रिकेट खेलना ही सब कुछ नहीं था. शाम को ही वोंट गो टू द नाइट क्लब, आई वोंट सिट इन अ प्लेस वेयर पीपल आर स्मोकिंग, क्योंकि मेरी आंखें खराब हो सकती हैं. तो ये चीज़ जब एक क्रिकेटर बात करता है तो वो लेवल थोड़ा अलग हो जाता है.
मैं जब यंग था और मैं नया क्रिकेट फैन बना था, मुझे सबसे जो बुरी बात लगती थी वो ये थी कि ये सारा टाइम कैप्टनसी का हॉट पोटैटो क्यों चलता रहता था.
No, almost 25 years I stopped playing. I'm not bothered about anything. I can easily say the cricket board shouldn't have done this game with us. Sometime he's captain, sometime I'm captain. Even
Amen, brother.
though in 83,
Seriously.
they made me captain, I'm not going to say no. It's unfair when you are playing, always you dream for that.
Of course.
उनको बनाना चाहिए था गावस्कर साहब को कैप्टन उस समय, बिकॉज वो मैच्योर था, सेंसिबल था, उनको पता था. बट ये था कि नहीं, हमें यंगस्टर को बनाना है. और जब 85 में उन्होंने मुझे हटाया तो मुझे तब भी लगा कि ये रॉन्ग टाइम है. इस टाइम तो मैं मैच्योर हो रहा हूँ, मेरे को गेम की समझ आ रही है. उस समय मैं स्ट्रांग हो रहा था. उन्होंने बोला काट दो, गावस्कर साहब को वापस बना. तो हमारे साथ अच्छा खेलते थे.
खिचड़ी बना दी थी उन्होंने सारे.
बोर्ड वाले अच्छा खेलते थे.
Jeez.
And you were such a young captain. Were you the?
I was lucky. I got support from seniors.
Yeah, and आपसे younger कौन होंगे उस टीम में? सिर्फ रवि.
नहीं, रवि शास्त्री था, श्रीकांत था.
Chika's younger than you.
And Sunil Walson. For few months we हम आगे पीछे थे. And I had like Sunil Gavaskar. He made a debut in 71.
Yeah.
So I made 78. So 8 years senior is like in cricket, he's your grandfather.
Yeah.
On the field, it was very difficult for me. One, I didn't have that much, finesse to talk and make a point. I was very straight to the point, and sometimes you on the field have to give respect to the seniors. तो एक बार मुझे याद है एक छोटा सा किस्सा. तो कैप्टनसी कर रहा था, तो मैं बार्बाडोस में खेल रहे थे. पहले मैंने बॉल की, संधू ने की. तो हम फास्ट बॉलर ने करने के बाद मैं फर्स्ट चेंज पे रवि शास्त्री को लेके आया. तब तक ऑलमोस्ट 30 ओवर हो चुके थे, 25 या 30. एंड चलते हुए स्लिप से आए मेरे तब, कपिल. Yes, Venkat, did I said I don't want to bowl. So ऐसे कैरेक्टर आते थे. So I said, no, Venky, you will get chance to bowl. But when you are so young and somebody is so senior,
It's gotta be intimidating, man.
थोड़ा उस वक्त तो डर लग जाता है ना कि ओहो मैंने ऑफेंड कर दिया सीनियर को.
नहीं, डर से ज़्यादा ये कि इतनी आपकी आंखों में, दिमाग में, जहन में इतनी इज्जत होती है आपके सीनियर क्रिकेटर्स की. एंड आप कुछ कहना भी चाहते हो तो कह नहीं पाते.
आपका क्या गोल था जब आप 13-14 साल के थे? आप थे
कुछ नहीं.
हरियाणा में. कुछ कब रियलाइज किया आपने अपना गोल के?
मेरा कोई गोल नहीं था. मेरा गोल था सिर्फ खेलना. एंड आई वुड प्ले any time or day or night. I get a chance to play, I play. Even I play marble. क्रिकेट इसलिए खेलना शुरू किया क्योंकि पढ़ाई पसंद नहीं थी. और फुटबॉल इसलिए छोड़ा कि फुटबॉल का मैच 1.5-2 घंटे में खत्म हो जाता है, फिर वापस क्लास में जाना पड़ेगा. So those type of stories.
Do you remember the breakthrough when it happened?
I think serious it happened. We went for Haryana school trials from my school batch, and 8 or 9 boys went. All of got select apart from me. I would say
Wow.
that was a turning point. Oh, God was on my side at that time. They didn't pick me, and school used to get every day 1 or 2 new ball for the practice.
Yeah.
When all the seniors gone, they given me the new ball because I was little taller than other people. And by the time they were back, I sent almost 3 or 4 boys to the hospital when they come to the practice.
Jeez.
I was so angry.
मुझे छोड़ के चले
Wow.
मुझे छोड़ के चले गए. वो होता है ना स्कूल में, यार मेरे को क्यों नहीं लेके गए, तुम अकेले पिक्चर चले गए, मुझे क्यों नहीं लेके गए.
ये खाओ बाउंसर.
Seriously.
And within 1 year, not even 1 year, less than, the senior state team used to be picked to play hot weather tournament in Delhi. The senior team took me as their main bowler. I mean 7-8 Ranji Trophy player was there. So that was a turning point, I would say.
मतलब the journey to be the greatest fast bowler in that the country has ever produced, one of the greatest in the world, happened almost by a selection mistake that somebody made.
I don't know is that, but that was one thing I would say. And
Amazing.
I was very shy, and somebody come like you come. I want to do your interview. I couldn't say no, but शर्मा रहा था तो he said, "Who's Kapil Dev?" And I said, "Me." मेरे से इंग्लिश में बात कर रहे हैं, मेरा क्या हाल हुआ होगा? I said, "Oh," कहता इंटरव्यू चाहिए. In English he was talking.
Yeah.
I said, "Give me 5 minutes."
Yeah.
I उधर से भाग ही गया.
Jeez. He was shy. Holy cow. Doesn't surprise me though. He seems like a very calm type of guy. Reserved, maybe might be a better word.
Very humble.
मैं
Dude, that
Yeah.
story, I had to just take down a note because I didn't want to forget that story when we recap it. But man,
मुश्किल है.
bro, it's the same pattern over and over
दो
again.
लोग होते थे जिनके सामने वो हमेशा थोड़ा रुक जाते थे, एक सनी भाई और एक आप, और आपका कहते थे नहीं मेरे कैप्टन है, मैं ऐसे.
I think the only transformation, if I have seen any cricketer, is Navjot Singh Sidhu. I mean, he was very bright kid, sure. हम उनके घर ही रुका करते थे, उनका खाना खाया करते थे, और शेरी और नवजोत सिंह सिद्धू, I mean 24 घंटे वो अपना जूड़ा सा होता था, पकड़ के वो किताबों में पढ़ता रहता था. He was so much involved, and till he played cricket also, first few years, I don't think so I heard more than good afternoon, good morning, or kabhi kabhi sat sri akal, paji, and that's it. And I thought he was very shy, but when he started talking, I can't imagine till today. I can't imagine.
सर क्या हुआ ना कि सारे जो वर्ड्स बचा के रखे हुए थे ना 25-30 साल, वो अब सारे एक साथ बाहर आ रहे हैं. वो ना डैम भर गया था बड़ा, तो एक बारी जब खुला डैम तो फिर सब डूब गए उसमें.
अभी तक खत्म नहीं हुआ. बट गौरव, सबसे अच्छे लोग पता है कौन है? स्टोरी टेलर.
Yeah.
जो स्टोरी को बयान कर सकते हैं with नमक मिर्च मसाला, I think they are the best people.
Who were your best buddies in the team? किसके साथ आप शाम को घूमते थे, ज्यादा मजा आता था? मतलब उस वक्त भी नॉर्थ और वेस्ट वाले अलग-अलग लोग obviously घूमते
It's
थे.
going to remain throughout.
Yeah.
One, your language comfort.
Language, food, सब कुछ.
I mean, I love Roger Binney. I mean, he's my best friend till today. But he couldn't speak a word of Hindi. I couldn't speak a word of English. So, despite of being good friend, फिर भी आपको टाइम तो चाहिए ना बातचीत करने का.
आपने वो फिल्म देखी है कमल हसन वाली, एक दूजे के लिए?
Yes.
मुझे वो वाली फिल्म याद आ गई कि दोनों को एक दूसरे की लैंग्वेज नहीं सब. मैं ये नहीं कह रहा कि कोई रोमांटिक.
नहीं, मैं बहुत प्यार करता था रॉजर बिन्नी का. आज भी करता हूँ. In my 35 years of knowing him, मैंने उसको कभी भी गुस्सा करते नहीं देखा.
Yeah.
कभी नहीं देखा. So he's such a lovable character. मजा आता था उसके साथ. Not to be a friend, we can talk much more than that.
Yeah.
He's a great guy.
आपने सचिन को देखा था, I think कोई नेट्स में there was something you saw him at Brabon Stadium, right? You called him or
No,
you
I
called to him?
didn't. No, I didn't. I finished my practice, and Raj Bhai come to me, and Raj Bhai said, इसको यंग बच्चा है, बड़ा खुश हो जाएगा, इसको बॉलिंग कर दो. मैं राज भाई थका हुआ हूँ, अभी खत्म कर दिया नेट. कहते देखो उस बच्चे का
15 years old.
अभी यंग है, 15 साल का है, 2-4 बॉल करोगे तो खुश है. तो मैं जूते डाले हुए थे, जब नेट में आया तो मैंने कहा चलो ठीक है. डाले तो 1, 2, 3 बॉल डाले तो लगा कि हाँ ठीक है, मार सकता है. तो सडनली मैंने थोड़ा था कि इसको यार थोड़ा सा टेस्ट, थोड़ा सा तेज मारा, फ्लिक किया, उसने ऐसा करके शॉट मारा. तो मैंने कहा
Jay
वो
Pretty
God,
humble him to
है
say,
बच्चा अच्छा
like, no, I didn't discourage.
बट ऐसा कभी भी नहीं था ऑनेस्टली
Yeah.
कि ये इतनी क्रिकेट खेलेगा या क्रिकेट का गॉड हो जाएगा
Yeah.
ही वाज far better than what he performed.
Yeah.
He still had more
Jeez.
talent.
Wow. ये जब obviously there was वो कैमरा भी थोड़े कम ही होते थे, थोड़ा स्टंप माइक भी नहीं होता था, तो उस वक्त थोड़ी बातचीत भी हो सकती थी जो पकड़ी नहीं जाती थी.
बातचीत होती थी आई थिंक वेस्ट इंडीज के साथ बिल्कुल नहीं होती थी
Yeah. Viv Richards.
या विव वाज डेफिनेटली आउटस्टैंडिंग आई थिंक इट्स नॉट हिज बैटिंग हिज एटीट्यूड यू नो दैट
Showing.
नो ही वाज looking at bowler's eye which हमारे समय में सिखाया जाता था कि आप बॉलर की आंखों में आंखें डाल के मत देखो सर नीचे करके अपना बल्ले कर but he was one batsman after hitting he used to look up to you and say
कोई शब्दों की जरूरत नहीं.
हाँ कई बार वेस्ट इंडियन फास्ट बॉलर उनको करने की ज़रूरत नहीं पड़ती थी अगर उनको गुस्सा आता था
Yeah.
तो पता चल जाता था उनकी बॉलिंग से कि इस समय थोड़ा सा
यहाँ से
या smell the leather
That's awesome.
और
Oh, the glory
वेस्ट
days.
इंडियन के अगेंस्ट सबसे ज़्यादा
Oh yeah.
खौफ भी होता था और माइंड में भी होता था अगर एक फास्ट बॉलर है तो आप कहते थे हैंडल कर लेंगे और लगातार चार फास्ट बॉलर आ रहे हैं और एक से एक भयानक
पर उनको देख के कभी वेस्ट इंडीज में मन नहीं करता था बोलने का कि बस भी करो यार, कोई स्लोअर बॉलर डाल दो, कोई स्पिनर डाल दो, क्या कर रहे हो यार, घर बुला के ऐसा करता कोई.
बड़ा अच्छा होता था कभी कभी स्लो गेंदबाज आते भी थे ना तो बैट्समैन जो बैटिंग कर रहे होते थे वो कहते थे लूटो मत लूटने की कोशिश करोगे एक ओवर में 15-20 रन 2 ओवर में बना लिए फिर फास्ट बॉलर आ जाएंगे तो इसको थोड़ा रिस्पेक्ट दो वेल बोल्ड बोलो और बीच में आस्ता आस्ता एक आधा बाउंड्री मारो तो ये सिचुएशन होती थी इट वॉज लाइक दैट आई रिमेम्बर इसको ज़्यादा नहीं मारना आराम से एक बाउंड्री मारो और फिर उसको 5 मेड इन एक आधा बीट भी हो जाना ऑफ स्टंप के बाहर तो
थोड़ी एक्टिंग करके बोला
मैं बोल
क्या हुआ, पिच को देखो थोड़ा सा.
ऐसे भी
कप्तान चेंज ना करे उसको.
ऐसे ही मज़ेदार क्रिकेट थी
Yeah.
बाकी पाकिस्तान के साथ थोड़ा ज़्यादा होता था क्योंकि उनकी लैंग्वेज समझ आती थी
Yeah.
तो कभी गाली गलोच हो भी जाती थी तो यू अंडरस्टैंड द लैंग्वेज तो थोड़ी ज़्यादा लगती है अपनी भाषा में अगर समझ आए तो ज़्यादा हर्ट करती है और जैसे अब पंजाबी में गाली निकालो और आपको आती नहीं है तो कोई फ़र्क नहीं है
Correct.
जैसे हमें कोई इंग्लिश में निकाले हमें पता ही नहीं चलता था बोल देंगे ओ ही इज saying
Bro, that's why the Aussie sledge, it matters. It works.
Look at you, always
Very few
defending.
people- I'm just saying, very few people can like not let it affect them. You know what I mean?
Here,
Yeah.
ये जो होटल है द लोधी,
So
यहाँ
true.
पे आपकी काफी अच्छी मेमोरीज हैं. You got married here.
yeah
तो शादी के फेरे यहाँ पे हुए थे.
oh I spent my first night here
वाओ. ये इस वक्त देखिए मैं आपसे झूठ बोल के बोल सकता था कि मैंने प्लानिंग करी इस बात की.
हाँ अभी भी बोल सकते हो
क्या प्लान, कैसी लगी आपको मेरी प्लानिंग?
अच्छी थी
You got married very young actually.
81
Yeah. तो आप उस वक्त थे 22.
yeah we got engaged and Romi's father expired so there were two girls and you know they were feeling uneasy and then the need of the hour was to get married
Yeah.
so I said I won't get married before my sister
And then
so my sister got married on 5th I got married
Wow.
on 6th
Back to back.
तो सब गेस्ट की एक ही टिकट लगी, जो भी आए सब
No,
एक ही
हम
बारी आए.
चंडीगढ़ में थे and I remember during the marriage my brother and other people was when the lama fere was going on and they were dozing off I said जागो I don't blame them 3 दिन सोए नहीं थे तो it was a big call
And then of course all आप लोग भी सब लोग एक साथ फैमिली के साथ गए थे वर्ल्ड कप पे.
I think नहीं जब तक हम पहुंच गए थे nobody expecting once you reach to the semi-final थोड़े बहुत पैसे सेव कर लो वाइफ आएगी
Yeah.
क्योंकि उस समय सिर्फ $500 मिलते थे आप
My माय गॉड, तो $500 एक मिनट पर गेम या पूरा
No,
टूर?
no, no. $500 you can exchange from the government.
अच्छा अच्छा, सो $500 की अलाउंस होती थी ऐसे ले जाने के लिए
और आपका होता था अलाउंस जो भी
पर डीएम वहाँ पे जो
15
टीम से
पाउंड,
मिलता था।
10, $30, $20 जो भी
Wow.
होता था. We were little lucky, but South Indian player was
Are you serious?
little too much problem to them. They want their rice and sambar and curd must.
पर ये है कहानी कि आप कहते थे कि मैं फास्ट बॉलर हूँ, मुझे ज्यादा खाना चाहिए, और लोग कहते थे इंडिया में कोई फास्ट बॉलर नहीं है, झूठ मत बोलो।
Actually ऐसे start हुआ था.
Yeah.
And Bombay was the hub of cricket. So it was a saying कि अगर आप बॉम्बे को खेल गए तो इंडिया खेल जाओगे.
Yeah.
And Bombay administration did not realize that हम नॉर्थ इंडिया से जो आते हैं थोड़ा ज़्यादा ही खाते हैं. राइस कम होता है, चपाती चपूती थोड़ी ज़्यादा होती है. उन्होंने बोला नहीं नहीं, सिर्फ आपको 2 ही चपाती मिलेंगे.
क्या बात कर रहे हैं?
और उस समय आज बोले 2 चलेंगे तो 1.5 में भी चल जाता है.
Yeah.
1.5 is good enough.
एक अब जो सारी जो कहानियां हैं, रूमर्स जो हैं, मैं थोड़े क्लियर
That's
करना
the same
चाहता हूँ। जो घर में बफलोज थी फ्रेश मिल्क के लिए जब आप बच्चे थे, ये भी सच है?
हाँ बिल्कुल सच
Yeah.
है. क्योंकि मेरे बाप को पता नहीं था क्रिकेट क्या होता है.
Yeah.
एंड कहीं कोच ने बोल दिया कि नहीं नहीं ये बहुत पतला है, इसको दूध और ये चाहिए. एंड माय फादर वाज अ वेरी सिंपल पर्सन. ही सेड ऐसे चलो जाके 2 गाय बांध दी पीछे फैक्ट्री के.
Yeah.
एंड जिस बैकग्राउंड से हम आए थे वहाँ दूध बेचा नहीं जाता था. अब 2 यू हैव 2 काउज बैकयार्ड में और उसका कम से कम 20-30 लीटर दिन का दूध निकलना है. आई थिंक 14 साल 15 साल उसी टाइम मेरे फादर की डेथ हो गई थी. 14-15 साल से 18-19 साल तक मेरे को नहीं याद कि मैंने पानी भी पिया होगा. क्योंकि घर में आते थे बॉटल में वो कांच की होती थी जो बियर जिसमें आती होती थी.
Yeah.
वो बियर तो ख़त्म हो जाती थी, फिर वो उस बॉटल में डाल के मेरे को याद है हम वही पिया करते थे.
Yeah.
सो दैट्स ट्रू थैंक्स टू माय डैड.
अच्छा, एक और रूमर, शरीफा मुझे हमेशा कहते हैं, जो आपकी वो एक फेमस लाइन है, व्हेन विल देयर बी अनदर कपिल देव, ये रियल हुई थी कि ये एक स्टोरी बन गई है अब?
बोला ना, कहानी जो सुनाने वाले होते हैं
Yeah.
वो बड़े खूबसूरत लोग होते हैं.
Yeah.
आई थिंक उससे पहले मेरी माँ ने कुछ ऐसा कहा था. तो किसी ने आके पूछा मेरी माँ को कि व्हेन वी आर गोइंग टू हैव अनदर कपिल देव. तो मेरी माँ ने बोला कि देखो अब मैं बूढ़ी हो गई हूँ और कपिल के पिताजी भी नहीं है, अब तो कोई और कपिल देव हो नहीं सकता. सो माय मॉम हैज शी हैज हर ओन सेंस ऑफ ह्यूमर. एंड लाइक माय मॉम सेड कि मेरे को पता होता कि इतना फर्क है तो मैं 2-3 और पैदा कर देती. तो I think joke was that, and somebody asked me, then I said the same thing. I said, my mom is too old.
आपका स्पिरिट ऑफ एंटरप्राइज जो है लाइफ में, मैं आई रियली एडमायर इट, क्योंकि यू आर अ सीरियल एंटरप्रेन्योर, और आप जब से रिटायर करे तब से यू हैव अ हेड फॉर बिजनेस. ये कहाँ से आया? वेयर डू यू थिंक इट्स कम फ्रॉम?
जब मैं टेस्ट क्रिकेट खेल रहा था तो हमारे मैनेजर थे चंदू बोर्डे. ही वॉज अ फॉर्मर इंडियन कैप्टन.
Yeah.
वो था. एंड हम बॉम्बे में टेस्ट मैच जीते तो चंदू भाई आके बोले मैं जा रहा हूँ पुणे एंड आई विल सी यू द नेक्स्ट टेस्ट मैच. तो 3 घंटे के बाद देखा चंदू भाई अभी वहीं है. बोर्डे साहब, मैंने कहा बोर्डे साहब आप गए नहीं, आप तो पूना जा रहे थे. कहते नहीं वो ना सेक्रेटरी बोर्ड का वो सो रहा है, वो उठेगा तो मेरा डेली अलाउंस देगा. उस एक स्टेटमेंट ने मेरी जिंदगी चेंज कर दी. इसलिए कि यार ये हमसे भी बड़े क्रिकेटर थे अपने टाइम में. आज ये नौबत है कि ही हैव टू वेट फॉर हिज डेली अलाउंस टू गो बैक. एंड दैट इज द टाइम आई स्टार्ट थिंकिंग कि नो, ओपन योर माइंड कि क्रिकेट ही सब कुछ नहीं है. क्रिकेट छोड़ने के बाद ऐसी कभी नौबत मेरे को आई तो बहुत बुरा होगा. क्योंकि जब आप खेल रहे हो तो योर थॉट प्रोसेस और लाइफस्टाइल इज हियर. बट अगर इससे नीचे आ जाएगी तो यू विल स्ट्रगल, यू विल बी बिटर and you will be unhappy man.
Yeah.
तो मैं यही कहता था कि नहीं, मेरे को कुछ ऐसा करना है जिससे मेरी लाइफ ऐसे ही रही जैसी अब है.
जाते जाते एक हमारा प्लग तो हमें करना ही पड़ेगा. हमारे सारे दोस्त, हमारे प्रिय मित्र जो फिल्म बना रहे हैं 83 वर्ल्ड कप की, आई एम एक्सट्रीमली हैप्पी that's getting made. As a fan, I'm extremely happy. I'm sure you're extremely happy. Kabir Khan making the film, Ranveer playing you.
These actor, I think the fabulous and director putting each and every small thing. Ki my pronunciation is not the correct pronunciation. So they used to pick up each and everything ki how I talk. He was just thinking if he had to be a fast bowler, what's his attitude, and which he was trying to establish कि मैं गुस्सा कैसे करता हूँ.
Yeah.
तो मैंने बोला कि मैं गुस्सा नहीं करता.
Yeah.
मैं फील्ड पे गुस्सा किया, फील्ड के बाहर आके मैंने जिंदगी में गुस्सा नहीं किया. बट उनको लगता था कि नहीं, शाम को कभी गुस्सा आए तो गिलास तोड़ना, ये वो. So I said I never lost my head.
हम पंजाबी ग्लास को तोड़ते नहीं है.
जोड़ते.
तोड़ने वाली चीज थोड़ी ना है. भाजी मैं तो यहाँ पे मेरे से क्या टेम्पटेशन है कि मैं आपसे एक चीज पूछता हूँ, आप एक चीज के बारे में बताते हैं, मेरे में 4 और थॉट आ जाते हैं. हम अगर यहाँ पे 5 दिन भी बैठे रहे तो मेरे हिसाब से ये कॉन्वर्सेशन मेरे दिमाग में तो कभी मुझे तसल्ली नहीं मिलेगी. तो आई थिंक वी शुड स्टॉप हियर बिफोर यू हिट मी विद द बॉल.
No, thank you very much. मैंने भी इससे लंबी कभी इंटरव्यू किसी को दी नहीं है.
Thank you so much, भाजी. It's a pleasure and an honor to have you here. Thank you.
Thank you. Hi, I'm Kapil Dev and you can watch me in the Breakfast with Champions.
And don't forget to like and share this video and also subscribe to Oak Tree Sports for many, many more champions. Press the bell. Bell bajao. Bell. Ganti bajao. Sir,
Hello,
ganti bajao.
like? You have no other option. You have to like it, man.
And share also.
Sharing to caring hai.
So that's a very interesting interview, Breakfast with Champions. We've watched, 4 or 5 of these things. Right. That one to me was very interesting. Gaurav had his plan. He had his questions. He had his homework done. But it seemed more like just a conversation. It seemed more like sitting back, having someone come visit you at the house. How are things been going? But a little more in depth on choices and decisions on certain things. And typically I would not like that kind of conversation. I want to, get to questions, get to this or that. But the 26 minutes went by really, really fast, probably because of that style. Kapil Dev doesn't surprise me at all on his personality from just a few things I've seen him in, or, we've seen him talk about and this or that. And even the way Ranveer Singh's portraying him in the trailers and whatnot, there's not too much that surprises me about him. But when he says, I don't get angry, off the field, I never get angry. I hear people say that sometimes. I just don't believe it because I know how I am. I can be easily agitated. So, I mean, that's awesome for him. But what do you think about that conversation?
Dude, I thought that it was actually very honest. If anything, I think it's like one of those interviews when an interviewer sits down and, like you said, they have their plan, and then the whoever it is that you're interviewing, right, is so blatantly honest that you just want to let him go. Because, like, for instance, he goes out and not necessarily goes after the BCCI, but he, addresses a topic that, a person in his position probably doesn't, it probably doesn't behoove him to badmouth the BCCI, right? He's still in business as far as, broadcasting, commercials, things of that nature. But he's honest. He's like, they shouldn't play this hot potato with us as captains. And when he was talking about that, I instantly jumped to 2 things in my mind. Currently, what Virat Kohli is going through, and also what we know that Sachin went through. And obviously, it's a pattern by the BCCI to do this. We've already talked about how being a captain in Test is probably the hardest job in professional sports as far as being a player. And, he even said, I remember in the interview, he was talking about how, as a younger captain, it's hard because you got to respect those senior players. Even when you want to tell them something, you don't necessarily tell them. Just because you're the best player on the team doesn't mean you know how to lead men. You know what I'm saying? Remember, these are grown men who are legends in and of themselves. And we saw that Sachin also dealt with that. So I think that from a captaincy perspective, that you shouldn't necessarily always give it to the best player, because the best player may not be the best leader, right? And I just recently I saw, I think it might have actually been Sachin or someone who said, like, it's time for Kohli to take Sachin's approach, just basically focus on batting and get done with the captaincy. Just too much drama around it. You know what I mean? So it was amazing that he brought up, and I think that at that point, Gaurav was just like, oh wow, this guy's giving me gold. You know what I mean? Let me just keep my mouth shut and keep on let him keep going. Another thing he talked about, Nick, that stayed with me, and I actually had to write that down, because I tell my kids this all the time. Listen, there's no secret to success. There really isn't. Okay. There's no magic beans. There's no three witches. There's no genies. It's not an algorithm that's uncrackable. You want to be successful? Do what other successful people do. It's just that simple. And success is only, everybody has talent. Okay, everybody has talent. You have some talent, you just don't know you may not know what it is, but everybody has talent. But skill is only acquired by hours and hours and hours of working on your craft. And he talked about how Sunil Gavaskar didn't go to clubs, didn't even wasn't around people who would smoke or whatever, because he was concerned that that would affect his performance. Like, his life was cricket. We also saw the same thing with Sachin. His life was cricket. Okay, you're a Lakers fan. Kobe, same thing. His life was basketball. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. And having kids that my own who are athletes, I tell them, guys, you want to be successful? Do what other successful people do. Other people do. It's just that simple. Outwork the next man. And I mean, the last thing I'm going to talk about is how sometimes the story replays itself. And one of the knocks, so to speak, on this new generation is that this new generation is soft. They don't know how to deal with adversity. And one of the things that when we talk about adversity is learning how to grow from adversity. And some people don't look at adversity as that spark you need to really get hungry, to really, want to succeed. And his story about how what really changed his life was everyone else getting selected, all 8-9 other kids getting selected on his team, and he didn't get selected. It actually was a blessing in disguise, because he ended up staying behind. Well, he's the tallest kid. He's the last of the Mohicans, so to speak, put the ball in his hand, and that helped him work. And like he said, he was angry about that, and it made him work harder. And it reminds me about the story of Michael Jordan getting cut in high school. Like, he's Jordan, and he got cut. Oh, I get cut? I'm just going to come back and work even harder. And I'm going to come back and show you should have cut me. And that's what made him the greatest of all time as far as being a basketball player. So it doesn't matter whether it's cricket, Nick, or basketball, or baseball, or whatever sport, and even in life, okay? Most entrepreneurs have failed several times. But it's that ability to take those failures, learn from it, and keep on working. And it's the story replays itself. I just thought it was an honest conversation. And I thought that what Gaurav did there was so smart, because he's like, oh wow, he's giving me gold. Let me just sit back and forget about let me scrap my interview questions and just give it to me. Just give it to me. You know what I'm saying? So I thought it was awesome.
And he was very respectful of his time too, which I really like that from Gaurav. He's a great host and a great interviewer. My favorite moment, not just because he got emotional, was when he was talking about the inspiration he had to be an entrepreneur when he was done with cricket. And it's crazy. I'm sure he got more than, $500 for a series or a match, whatever it was, later on in his career. But that's crazy. And you have that in a lot of sports, even American sports, NFL, NBA, in the 70s, 60s, 70s. Like, they weren't getting paid that much money. And I've always thought to myself, those guys played in the league for 10 years, but they weren't making that much money. So now they're retired. They might be in the Hall of Fame, but they may not have two nickels to press against each other. And Kapil Dev, in a moment where he saw someone I'm sure he looked up to, his manager, former Indian captain, where this guy had to wait for his allowance to be able to go back home. Many, many times, anyone else would be like, oh, that sucks, man, like in his mind, and kept going, not thinking about it. Not my problem, but he looked at it as an opportunity. This is eventually going to end. It takes a very smart person to see the future ahead of them, just a few years or a few days. This is at some point going to end, and what am I going to do after that? And so that's one thing I didn't know about. I'm going to look up some of the businesses he started and what he's done in the entrepreneurial world. But I think that's so impressive, and that's my favorite part when he's telling that story, because for him, the light bulb went off and he's like, I'm not going to let this happen to me. So let me figure out what I got to do to make sure that I can be successful and provide for my family when cricket's done.
Yeah, for sure. Again, I just think he was so humble and honest, and right from the very beginning, right? There's like, well, is it true that you discovered right away? Gaurav's like, talking about a rumor that you discovered Sachin, and he's like, no, like I was done with my session. I was trying to go. Somebody else can. Oh, this kid is special. He's 15 years
out
old.
there.
Bowling him. I'm trying to get out, and just that honesty was so refreshing. But my favorite part was, okay, he's gonna think about it a lot if I just throw him a couple. He's like, okay, let me put this kid to the test. Let me give him the fire. Let's see if he can, sink or swim, baby. They threw you with the Sharks. And he said he hit a shot. And then he was like, okay, this kid is going to be special. And when greatness sometimes recognize greatness, I think that's you got to be humble. Think about it. This 15-year-old Sachin just took you to town, cousin. And you the great Kapil Dev. He could have been salty about it. He could have been, but he's like, oh, wow. This kid is special. You know what I mean? That it takes a big man and again a humble person to say, "Wow, I'm an established veteran, and this kid just yanked me. He hooted me. He's gonna be special." So I think that's was a really cool tidbit there.
Absolutely, because I can see like if I was in that situation, like dude, I've been here for a while. Like at that point, he'd been playing cricket for probably 10 years or so. And he's like, no, I don't really want to, cater to some kid or whatever. He decided to do it. Like, oh, okay, let me put my big boy pants on and show this kid what's up. And he still impressed him. That's really cool. And he went on to do the things that he did. And it's very interesting that he said he was even better than how he performed. I thought that was really cool. Last thing I want to say, second best thing he said in there was that storytellers are the best people. I absolutely agree with that. That's a fantastic thing to say. Question is, what do you guys like from this interview? What do you like about Kapil Dev? What was not mentioned in there that you love about a fun fact about him? Let us all know that, or let us know all that stuff in the comment section below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And until next time.
That's 6 runs.